For decades, the Swaggart family stood at the center of a massive ministry empire, preaching about salvation, hope, and the blessings of God. But behind the bright lights of the church stage and the captivating sermons, there lurked a much darker reality. A reality where countless innocent people found their lives ruined by the very people they trusted. This is the brutal truth of how the Swaggart family, under the veil of ministry, played with people's lives. When you walked through the doors of the ministry, you were met with promises of healing, deliverance, financial breakthrough, and restoration. But for many former members, volunteers, and even employees, these promises turned into lifelong scars. The Swaggart family created an environment where manipulation thrived and control was absolute. People were convinced that every part of their lives must be surrendered, not just spiritually, but financially and emotionally too. Former insiders recount chilling experiences where they were pressured to give beyond their means, often to the point of financial collapse. People sold their homes, emptied their retirement accounts, and maxed out credit cards to sow a seed into the ministry. All the while, the Swaggart family expanded their personal luxuries, lavish mansions, expensive cars, luxury vacations, and private jets. The faithful were made to feel guilty for even questioning these extravagances, being told they were questioning God's anointed. The manipulation didn't stop at money. Many former workers have shared how their family lives were torn apart by the toxic culture within the ministry. Husbands and wives fought over the financial strain caused by the constant push to give. Parents were alienated from children who questioned the ministry. Friendships ended as people were divided into loyal followers and traitors. Inside the church walls, there was no room for criticism. Dissenters were labeled as rebellious or influenced by the devil. People who tried to speak up about financial misconduct or emotional abuse were shamed publicly, fired without notice, or excommunicated from the church community. These tactics created a culture of fear where silence was the only way to survive. Several ex-employees have bravely spoken out about the toxic working conditions within the ministry. Staff members were underpaid and overworked, while the Swaggart family enjoyed very important person treatment. Many described it as a modern-day royalty system, where the Swaggarts lived like kings and queens off the hard work and sacrifices of their employees. One former staffer said, "They preached humility, but behind closed doors, it was all about power, control, and money." One of the most heartbreaking elements of this scandal is the false hope that was sold to people in desperate situations. The ministry often targeted vulnerable individuals, people facing illness, poverty, or family crises. They were promised healing, financial miracles, and restoration if they would only give sacrificially. Many of these people ended up in worse conditions, facing both financial devastation and spiritual betrayal. In several interviews, former churchgoers revealed how they were pressured to attend long services, participate in constant fundraising drives, and devote their free time to volunteering, only to be discarded when they were no longer useful. One woman shared her experience of giving thousands of dollars over the years, volunteering for events, and being completely ignored when her own family faced a medical emergency. "I realized then," she said, "we were only valuable to them when we had money to give or labor to offer." Behind the carefully curated TV programs and social media presence, the Swaggart family operated a system of exploitation. The prayer lines shown on television were often pre-screened and scripted. Emotional testimonies were selectively chosen to manipulate viewers into giving more. They used professional marketing tactics to present themselves as humble servants, while in reality living lives of extreme excess. Psychological manipulation was a key tool in their strategy. People were conditioned to associate every blessing in their life with giving to the ministry. If something went wrong in their life, they were told it was because they didn't give enough or didn't have enough faith. This constant cycle of guilt, shame, and obligation trapped thousands in financial and emotional bondage. Ex-workers have also revealed how the Swaggart family created division, even among their own employees. Some were elevated and rewarded for being blindly loyal, while others were scapegoated and publicly humiliated for minor mistakes. This system of favoritism bred paranoia and competition, keeping everyone too afraid to speak out against the corruption at the top. For many, the most painful part wasn't just losing money, it was losing faith. People who sincerely wanted to follow God found themselves manipulated and betrayed by those they trusted most. Many have walked away from religion altogether, unable to separate the message of faith from the greed and hypocrisy they witnessed. The impact of this toxic culture spread far beyond the church walls. Families fell apart, people lost their homes, and countless lives were left in ruins, while the Swaggart family continued to accumulate wealth. This wasn't just a mismanagement of funds, it was an outright abuse of power that destroyed lives in the name of God. Today, more former members and employees are speaking out, demanding accountability and justice. They are bravely sharing their stories, warning others to be cautious of manipulative ministries that promise the world but deliver nothing but pain. The Swaggart family still maintains their influence, but the truth is finally being exposed. The world is beginning to see the cracks in the polished image they have projected for decades. People are realizing that genuine faith has no room for manipulation, greed, or abuse. This scandal serves as a brutal reminder: not every person behind a pulpit is a servant of God. Some are simply using religion as a tool for personal gain. And as more people come forward, the Swaggart family's days of unchecked power may finally be coming to an end. In the end, the people deserve the truth. They deserve justice. And most of all, they deserve to reclaim their faith from the clutches of corruption. The time to expose the darkness is now. The time to hold the Swaggart family accountable is long overdue.